Despite a gutsy performance by Olga Gavortseva last night in Philadelphia, the Springfield Lasers still looking to clinch a playoff spot. And it doesn't get any easier as they face Marty Fish and the New York Empire tonight. It's World Team Tennis on CBS Sports Network. Kerry Leeds Center here in the Bronx in New York City as we hit the final 3 nights of the World Team Tennis regular season. Battle between struggling Springfield and surging New York here tonight. Take a look at the standings here again. Stretch run of this 3-week season. The playoffs are this weekend in Vegas. Philadelphia is already locked in as one of the 4 teams getting there. The other 3 spots up for grabs, Springfield and New York, both hoping to play in Vegas this weekend. Hi there, Jason Knapp here. Glad to have you with us alongside former ATP pro Sam Groth. Olivia Decker will join us courtside as the night rolls along. And Sam, we say struggling for Springfield because after a 7-1 start, the Lasers have lost 3 in a row, and they'd like to turn it around before they get to the playoffs. That's if they get to the playoffs.
Well, it's starting to become an if, isn't it now? 3 matches in a row. They've lost. They're going to play the New York Empire tonight, who really need a win tonight if they're going to be seen in Vegas in a few days' time. But for Springfield, they've got to start to turn things around. They were close last night against the Freedoms, but something's got to change, and it's got to change quick.
They certainly played Philadelphia, first-place team in the league, very well. Olga Gavortseva, her debut this year for the Lasers, played outstanding.
She certainly did. It was men's singles that put Springfield in a hole, but their women, they really picked it up against what's been really the backbone of the Philadelphia team for much of the season. Gavortseva stepped in a little bit of nerves early in the doubles, but then she was firing and she produced some magnificent tennis to win that women's singles match against Taylor Townsend and really give them an opportunity. Well, it got to extended play, didn't it?
Certainly did. It was exciting last night in Philadelphia. Meantime, for the Empire, Marty Fish returning for action here tonight.
Well, Marty's a guy I know well. I played my first ever Grand Slam match against Marty 10 years ago in Melbourne. Always a joy to see him playing. Great serve, terrific backhand. Sometimes just a few little questions, though. He doesn't play a lot anymore, so if you're Luke Jensen, you need to get a lot out of Marty tonight because, as we said, it is a must-win for the Empire.
We know the New York Empire head coach will be boosting his team from the bench. We'll see how it shakes out. The Empire and the Lasers both desperately trying to work their way towards the playoff picture this weekend in Las Vegas.
CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Wilson. Get the best gear in the World Team Tennis on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Wilson. Get the best gear in the game. By DecoTurf, official tennis court surface of World Team Tennis. And by Body Armor, the more natural and better hydration sports drink.
A July evening here in New York City. We are in the Bronx. Gary Leeds Center, ready to go here. World Team Tennis between Springfield and New York. It's what you would expect on a July night. 88 degrees. Conditions clear, although that humidity is lurking. A little bit of a breeze, although it's died off for the moment. As we get set to begin, let's check in with Olivia Decker courtside with more on one of the stars of the show tonight.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, Marty Fish is a big name for the Empire to get for these two key matches as they try to scrap and stay in that top four. The former American top-ranked has been so big, and he says he wants to play World Team Tennis as long as they'll let him. He's played 9 seasons. He's 37 years old, and he's been retired from the tour since 2015, but he said he's been practicing a lot. And Coach Jensen says he brings a fire, he brings a passion. That's just what this team needs right at this time.
Olivia, thanks. We'll see how Marty Fish does here to begin against Enrique Lopez Perez. You look at the Wilson lineups tonight. Men's singles will lead off. 5 sets of tennis here in World Team Tennis. We'll see women's doubles, men's doubles, women's singles, mixed doubles will close the program tonight. Set wins are great, but overall game wins are important. So even if you're losing a set, you want to pile up as many game wins as you can. It's the first of 5 games in a set. Fish, the dark colors, serving here against Lopez Perez of Spain. Marty Fish, 6 ATP singles titles, 8 doubles titles before stepping away from the tour life. Reached career high of 7 in singles, top 15 in doubles.
You just feel like short points is going to be key for Marty. Not out on tour day to day anymore. Has a great serve, has a world-class backhand still, hitting it so clean. But as we said, 37 years of age. It's got to catch up at some point. Still able to get easy power out of that first serve, though.
Well, you heard him as Olivia talked. He wants to play World Team Tennis as long as they'll have him. The Empire bringing him back again, season 9 for him, and playing some of those champions, veterans events at times. Also, you can find him on the golf course. Terrific golfer. Recently tied for 3rd at the big celebrity event in Lake Tahoe. And a hold at love is a promising start for Fish and the Empire.
It certainly is, and Lopez Perez, he struggled last night in Philadelphia against Mitch Kruger, lost 5-1. So I think New York, they're trying to exploit a little bit of that early here tonight.
You look at the 28-year-old from Spain, and the men's singles player for the back half of this regular season. Miomir Kecmanovic started off. Lopez Perez has played well since Kecmanovic, top 60 player, departed. That's why. Big serve.
That was a big serve, 134 miles an hour down the tee. He's held his own pretty well. Just got to keep it together now as we get to the business end of the season.
Well, Fish had a great opportunity and just hooked it wide. .30 love here for Lopez Perez, who last night, Sam, was right in that matchup, as you mentioned, with Mitch Kruger of Philly. And then there was a football call on a deciding point in a game. They had to replay the point because nobody heard it. And he lost that point, and then things went sideways from there.
Well, there was a lot of confusion at that moment. Ended up being a point where he won it, they replayed it, he lost it, and it was a big swing. In terms of that match especially, it didn't seem so big at the time, But when you get to extended play and you're only 2 games down, that was the difference between us heading to a super tiebreaker or not.
Clean winner for Marty Fish, who works his way back to 30-all.
Well, I bet you wish he could have that forehand back earlier in the game, the easy one he missed. That would have been 2 break points. Instead, this great forehand brings up 30-all, but those little chances in world team tennis, they don't come along and they can be gone very quickly as well.
Handcuffed by that serve.
Get a
Game
run
point here for Lopez Perez.
Get a run for the Yankees, hitting the ball like that out of the stadium.
Some height, some distance, and gone. Didn't miss by much, so Lopez Perez is able to match the initial hold from Fish.
He did well to get out of that game. Lopez Perez was under pressure. His opening service game of the set. Great return from Fish off the backhand side. That's his big strength for the American. Went for the drop shot. Not too sure about that play, though, but that could just be a little bit of lack of match play.
We kicked Luke Jensen out of the broadcast booth, and he's found a home coaching the Empire and coaching them pretty well out there to run out a wristband to Marty Fish, having a good year. 1-3 start for this team, but they've turned it around 5-2 since.
Yeah, he was nervous early. I remember being here just over 2 weeks ago, their opening match, and he was under the pump and wondering how he was going as a coach and how he came across, but seems to have settled in really nicely and a good connection with his team.
Again, college experience, coached at Syracuse. Now director of racket sports, Westside Tennis Club, not far away at Forest Hills. Marty Fish starting strong again in this service game. Speaking of coaching, the big thing on his plate coming up, Davis Cup taking over for Jim Courier after Jim's 8-year run, leading the United States in that team event. And it's going to be a challenge this year because it's all new.
Yeah, big changes to the Davis Cup competition, going to a 1-week format or 10-day format at the end of the year. Just not getting enough on this half volley Fish. Easy pass for Lopez Perez. But Courier, who'd been in that position for so long when the Davis Cup was in its home and away knockout format, Fish coming in now, and he's got to get his players fired up to try and do big things like that big serve. At the end of the season, post the World Tour Finals, it's a very interesting strategy the ITF's adopted.
It'll be in November in Spain on a hard court. It's going to have a little bit of a World Team Tennis field. There are 8 groups of 3, and they'll put things together, or excuse me, 6 groups of 3. That's 18. 6 group winners, top 2 second-place teams get to the knockout rounds. Marty Fish serve looking strong.
Well, it certainly is. Using a slightly more powerful racket than what he was using when he played his years on tour, but not struggling to get the pop. Such a simple action. Good shoulder over shoulder motion, still able to create great power, and that's going to be key for him if he's going to get a win here for the Empire. And you can see his willingness to use the slice serve and move forward. Again, trying to keep the point short, but it's also a huge strength of his. He's really trying to expose Lopez Perez off his forehand return, get him stretching wide, finishing off the easy volley.
Marty Fish, 2-1 here against Enrique Lopez Perez. And the Springfield Laser men's singles player ready to go. Another big opening crack in this service game, just like the first for Lopez Perez. Currently just outside the top 200 in singles, but as high as 154 in the world.
Just mistiming that one a little bit as the serve caught the net cord on the way through.
And now Lopez Perez with a cut he'd like back.
The wind almost switched around a tiny little bit during the point. Changed direction on the court, didn't adjust with his feet. Just got done a little bit for pace and width on this one.
– 40-15 for Lopez Perez. JL Yeager trying to get this group settled in. Again, 7-1 start for Springfield, the defending World Team Tennis champs. 3 consecutive losses, all on the road. Lopez Perez able to get the hold.
2 games off.
And we are off and rolling in men's singles. 4 straight holds. Coach Yeager and the Lasers trying to snap that 3-game slide tonight in NYC.
We got 3 on this side. How many do you have? 3 right there. How many do you have? Okay, so we can go stand out on it. About a minute, Marty. A minute back from TV.
Go Empire, go Lasers. 2 teams going head-to-head tonight here in the Bronx. 2-2. First of 5 sets. World Team Tennis tonight on CBS Sports Network. And plenty to come. 3-week season here in season 44 of World Team Tennis. Final couple of nights of the regular campaign, including Washington and San Diego, 10:30 Eastern tomorrow night here on CBS Sports Network. And then Sam, you and I and Olivia will be shoving off for Las Vegas. The rest of our crew. Semifinals coming Friday, 7 to 10 Eastern. And the championship affair Saturday night, 7 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Make that 10 o'clock Eastern coming on Saturday. Question is, we know Philly's going to be there. Who else is going to be there?
It's certainly gotten tight over the last few nights across the league. Orange County Breakers moving up into contention again. New York Empire have pushed in there. San Diego have almost guaranteed themselves a spot as well. One of them has to miss out, though.
Yeah, that's true. Again, this is the start of the final 3-night stretch. 14 games, home and home for each of the 8 teams in the league this year. Play the other 7 each once at your place and once at their place. At least that's the theory. We had a unique situation today with the Washington Castles, who got rained out against Orange County a couple of weeks ago. They made it up this morning in California.
Good width on the serve from Fish there, getting the kick serve to really bounce high away from the backhand of Lopez Perez.
40 love here for Fish. You talked about changing rackets here, a little bit heavier for him. How do you have to adjust if you've got a little heavier stick in your hand?
Well, it's also a little bit bigger head size, I think, with this racket, just to try to create a little bit more easy power. Obviously, we've said not playing full-time tennis now. You don't do as much training, you don't work on things as much as you used to trying to keep things just a little bit easier for himself, I think. Saw Federer do the same thing a couple of years ago, go to a racket with a little bit bigger head size. He started to get a little bit older, try to help himself a little bit with a few more free points and a little bit more easy power. Great return from Lopez Perez, taking a cut. 40 love on the Fish serve. Things get harder as you get older.
But for some people, they still got it. Marty Fish still got it here in World Team Tennis.
Well, he certainly does. That backhand, that's always been his biggest strength. And it doesn't look like he's ever going to miss it, especially when he has that sort of time on it. And this has been the perfect start for the Empire, 3-2. They would have wanted him to come out, keep holding serve, and put pressure on Lopez Perez from the lasers.
So 5 straight holds between the players to begin, and first to 5 wins the set. If we go to 4-all, we'll have a 9-point tiebreaker to decide the victor. We mentioned unique situation. Washington and Orange County rained out in D.C. a couple of weeks ago, so they made it up earlier today in California. Orange County winning. Both of those teams have other games later tonight on the West Coast. Orange County, at least, Sam, gets to stay at home, and they host Orlando, but Washington had to hightail up to Vegas to visit the Rollers tonight.
Well, they've had an easy schedule, or home schedule, for much of the season. Washington now having to finish up with a big West Coast swing, as we see Marty Fish catch that return a little bit low on the racket, busting a string down in the throat. Fresh stick.
Again, with that Orange County win today, Springfield can lock up a playoff spot finally if it wins tonight and Orange County loses its night affair to Orlando. And a double here from Lopez Perez.
Little break in rhythm as Fish went to the bench, changed rackets. Needs to switch back on here, Lopez Perez. We saw how quickly that match last night got away from him.
He gives Fish one and then takes one right back. Now there's the string that has seen its life expectancy arrive.
You can see that one didn't quite break in the center of the racket from Fish. Just got a little bit stuck with the feet there. Lopez Perez didn't get around quickly enough onto that forehand, ended up stretching and reaching a little bit.
40-30, still game point here for the Spaniard. And good enough to finish the hole. 3 apiece.
I think if you're Springfield, if you can get off to a good start here tonight, J.L. Diaga, he was super impressed on the bench last night. We had him mic'd up with how well Gvortseva played an introduction to his team for the first time last night, and you could hear him saying, well, even if we lose, which they ended up doing last night against Philadelphia, but the confidence he had with the two new players in Gavorza and Robert Lindstedt, the Swede who we see sitting there, those are their two new players in the center of screen. But Diago, he was more than happy with bringing those two in based on their performances last night.
Abby Spears, the other laser player there on the bench. All of them will be active as the night rolls along.
If you're Lopez Perez right now, you get the return to court and you hit every single ball to the Fish forehand. It was always the side, just because his backhand was so good that you wanted to target, and I'd be trying to hit everything in there right now if I could. Problem is, you have to get the serve back first.
Difficult task, even for a guy that hasn't been on tour for a few years, but still has plenty of game. .132 from Marty Fish.
Can't do anything about that. That hit every little bit of the outside of the line.
I believe he looked up and saw the miles per hour and was impressed.
Well, he's got great rhythm right now, and he's really using that as the backbone to his game tonight. It's 3 serves in a row. He's picked the perfect spot.
Olympic silver medalist for the United States, 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. Good rhythm for him on the golf course lately, and back here in World Team Tennis, 4-3 for Fish in New York.
Well, the driver's working tonight, isn't it? The big stick off the tee, firing for Marty Fish.
Our first Geico timeout of the night. Luke Jensen out to talk with Marty Fish. Also, as you touched on, maybe to continue to get him some rest, we'll see him in men's doubles coming up in the 3rd set tonight.
Wow, he's 37. I'm not sure he needs rest after 7 games, Jason Knapp. Come on, I'm going to tell Marty that you said that.
He's getting a refreshment, getting a little encouragement. Again, our format here, 1 set each, men's, women's singles, men's, women's doubles, and mixed. If we get to 4-all, which we very well may here in this opening set, we'll have that 9-point tiebreaker. No ad scoring. Haven't had any deciding points as of yet. If we get to that at deuce, next point wins.
He worked his way into the point there, got the first serve return into play, did Fish. Got a decent look at that forehand, just came out of the swing a little bit, dumped it into the net. Just see the deceleration.
Lopez Perez doing what he's done for a lot of the year. Kind of relishing the environment here and playing good tennis in singles. Point away from tie-break time here in the opening set.
Well, it's been a set highly dominated by both men on serve. 4-all, a tiebreaker almost looked inevitable after the first couple of service games.
Hold it, love. 4-all. And the tiebreak will be teed up for Fish and Lopez Perez. Again, this is the first of 5 sets tonight. Women's doubles coming up. Abigail Spears, Olga Gavortseva, chatting there for Springfield. They'll take on Maria Jose Martinez Sanchez and Vivara Lepchenko jumping into the Empire lineup tonight. That's coming up here after this tiebreak between Fish and Lopez Perez. When they met earlier this year, a couple of weeks ago, Springfield the win in Missouri, 23-15.
Good point from Fish. Again, great first volley, set up by a good first serve. Lopez Perez unable to find the court with the backhand lob, but look how simple he keeps this forehand volley. Racket head out in front, uses his body to move through the ball. Textbook stuff from Fish. That's a great change-up serve going down the tee. Been using the kick serve on that side pretty consistently as a second throughout the set. But by doing that, really set this serve up and then hits the perfect spot down the tee.
Quick 2 for Fish in the Empire. Lopez Perez looking to match with the next 2.
A good move from Lopez Perez, exposing the movement of Fish there, opening the court up with the backhand. As soon as he sees Fish is in trouble, closes the net quickly. See, he jumps right on top of this backhand. And then moves so quickly forward, gets himself an easy forehand volley.
Thank you. Two all, quick.
2 strong serving performances throughout the set. It's continued thus far in the tiebreak with guys that are both winning over 80% of the points on their first serve.
Well, it's been heavily dominated on serve. You feel like 1 point that goes the way of the returner could be enough to get it done here. Fish is going to take a sit down.
New York Empire, we mentioned tonight's game important. They want to close in on a playoff spot, but especially when you're taking on the first place team in a home and home the final 2 nights.
It doesn't make it easy when you've got to get wins to make the playoffs. Nice to get them early in the season when you don't have to play a team as good as Philadelphia the last 2 nights. It's going to be tough for the Empire. Just by seeing their schedule, I'd say they're probably the outsider to make the playoff of the guys chasing right now.
Enrique Lopez Perez, kid, loving World Team Tennis and playing it here in 2019. Marty Fish, old reliable is there. That serve continues to look wonderful.
Well, he's had such a great first serve percentage. A little bit of breeze around, not easy to serve in these conditions. It's hot, it's lively. He's been hitting his spots well.
Got a racket on it. But Lopez Perez with some daylight now.
Well, he just didn't get enough width on this forehand pass. Too much time for Lopez Perez to get the first look. And then it was just all about trying to somehow come up with a miracle volley, but credit to Lopez Perez. He got his first bite of the cherry and he took it.
So the little mini break here for Lopez Perez. And now set point Springfield. Marty Fish answers.
Well, set up by the big backhand return this time. Makes no mistake with the forehand down the line. But if you're Lopez Perez, maybe he doesn't know Marty Fish very well, but I would not be serving first serves to the backhand of Fish. It has always been one of the best in the game.
Well, we've reached the maximum. 4-4 in the set, 4-4 in the tiebreak. The winner of this takes it for their team.
Unbelievable running forehand from Fish.
Off the tour, but still performing at a high level.
Lopez Perez, he did everything right with a great return. Fish, first the wide backhand. Lopez Perez, if you're good enough, and he was.
Well, he may be retired from the top level of the game, but he's still got game, and Marty's with Olivia.
That's right, Jason, and thank you so much, Marty. Congratulations. You really set the tone for your team tonight.
Catch my breath.
Okay, well, let's give him a second. Catch your breath. You good? And what a dramatic way to start the night. What were you feeling strongest in?
My serve and not my forehand. So I felt like I had to come in as much as I could. You know, we don't play quite as much anymore as we used to, us retired guys. So the first thing that goes for me is the forehand. So luckily that's over. And I don't have to hit anymore until the doubles.
There you go. You get a little time to catch your breath then. Okay, thank you, Marty.
Thanks.
Guys.
Still enough forehand, especially with that set winner setting the table for the Empire. 5-4 New York. Looks like it's going to be a fun night here in New York City.
One minute. Thirty seconds. Fifteen seconds. Last serve. Time.
J.L. DeYeager, 13th season as head coach of Springfield, 3-time World Team Tennis Coach of the Year, led the squad to the title last year as they hoisted the King Trophy. His team falling in the opening set, but they know what's in front of them. A win tonight and an Orange County Breakers loss at home to Orlando on the West Coast tonight, and they finally lock up that playoff spot. 7-1 start, 3 straight losses, Sam, as we touched on. They're all on the road. In Orlando, Madison Keys played that night for the Storm. The other night in D.C., Nick Kyrgios was there for the Castles, and tonight Marty Fish finding some of his old game to win in men's singles.
Well, we've been following Springfield around, the two of us, the last few nights, and just speaking to J.L. DeYeager, he said, why is every team stacking up against us at the end of the season when we're trying to make the playoffs? But, you know, I think they will still get there, and I think these tough matches are going to hold them in good stead for when they do get to Vegas, because that's when it all counts, and you need to be fit and firing when that time comes.
Ready for women's doubles, our second set of 5. We'll go Gavortseva, Abigail Spears for Springfield, far side of the court in the white, with Gavortseva serving here against Maria Jose Martinez Sanchez and Vavara Levchenko.
They started slow last night. The team from Springfield, they were down 2-love, love 40 on their serves. And the team was down a 6-game hole, looking like huge problems, and then they turned it around against the #1 pairing in the league.
See the 30-year-old from Belarus, a former top 35 ranked player in singles, been top 25 in doubles. Let serves are played here in World Team Tennis, and Spears at the net getting the put away.
It was a good wide serve. Spears popping up, getting the forehand volley. And just so much experience. She's not going to miss that one.
And Spears, another winner up the middle. Gavortseva in her ranking now outside the top 200. There's a good reason for that. She's been off. She had the birth of her first child, February of 2018. Dominic, now 17 months. And an active youngster. From what Olga was saying, picking up the big racket. They've got some cut ones for him to swing around with, but maybe a future budding tennis star. And trying to balance the comeback and motherhood. Certainly growing with that.
What's a tough balance anyway on tour? It can't be easy with a 17-month-old son, but she seems to be doing well at the moment and continuing right on from where they left off last night.
Again, great combination play with Spears finishing a pile of points at the net. Springfield takes the first game here to women's doubles, and we're all even overall at 5-all. Gavortseva's first action for Springfield on the season was last night. Vavara Levchenko, her first action for the Empire is tonight. Has played World Team Tennis this year. She was a sub for the Washington Castles last week. Played a set of women's doubles and women's singles.
Well, she's going to need to fire in a hurry because Marty Fish got them off to the perfect start, but you just feel like this set, with how well they're currently gelling with Gavortseva coming into the team, looks like a set where Springfield could really dominate.
Vavara Levchenko, 33 years of age, born in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, became a U.S. citizen 2007, lives in Allentown, PA, about 90-minute drive or so from here. Talking with Luke Jensen. Again, Marty Fish coming in, Lepchenko, and some other players shuttling out to get back to tour. But he talked, look, we want experienced vets at this point of the year to come in and help us. Fish doing the job. Now Lepchenko trying to join Martinez Sanchez here in women's doubles.
I reckon Jensen's trying to just make himself feel a bit younger because they've definitely brought in some veterans.
Martinez Sanchez misfiring at the net.
15-30.
Just got stuck with her feet, didn't move forward to this forehand volley at all. Way too much movement with the racket head there.
Veteran from Spain with her good hands usually does not miss many like that. Strong serve, 30 all. Made the Grand Slam in doubles. Semi-final round of the Australian, quarterfinals at the French, and then the third round of all 4 Grand Slams in singles, including the 4th round of the French and at the U.S. Open.
That's a better volley from Martinez Sanchez, keeping it much simpler this time. Better movement up on her toes. As you said, she doesn't normally miss too many of them. She wasn't going to make the same mistake twice.
Last year's World Team Tennis Female Rookie of the Year. Her second season with the Empire. Turns 37 in a couple of weeks. And Lepchenko works through some problems, gets the game, and gives the Empire the overall lead back.
Well, there wasn't a lot on the serve, but Martinez Sanchez just held her move long enough to catch the eye of Spears, closed the gap, didn't give Spears a huge target cross court to hit to, and drew the error.
Still to be Abby Spears' turn to serve. Another established doubles veteran in this crew, 38 years of age. Grew up in San Diego, now lives in Colorado Springs. 9th season of World Team Tennis, 3rd straight with Springfield. Part of that championship crew, the ace for Spears to begin. She told Olivia last night after coming back in one of their matches, I just love the team aspect of this, and see so many of these players come back year after year, they really gravitate towards that portion of it.
Well, I think it's a message you hear from most players, and what do you love so much, and how do you fit into this individual sport so often? It's a good serve from Spears down the tee, but so often you're out there by yourself, or it's you and your doubles partner in the case of Spears, but it's still quite lonely to fit into a team environment where you're playing for a team on the bench, a city, the coach. Such an enjoyable environment for the players.
Grand Slam champion, mixed doubles crown at the Australian in 2017. Spears effective with her serve here. 88 miles an hour, but some smarts, positioning, and continuing to keep Springfield on its toes, or excuse me, New York on its toes.
Game.
Quick work for Spears, 2-1 Springfield.
Game Blazers. Blazers play 2 games to 1.
It was good serve from Spears, great placement. That one just catching the last little piece of the line. But really good spots there. And not quite often. Pace is nice, but hitting the correct spots in the box is probably more important. That coming from someone who knew how to hit it fast.
Wrong side. Sam Groff, man with the fastest recorded serve on record. 163.4 miles per hour.
Didn't always hit the spots. That was the problem.
Jason Knapp, Olivia Decker, rest of our CBS Sports Network crew. Glad to have you with us here for World Team Tennis. Is that the hardest thing? Just kind of keeping it on the planet sometimes?
That was an issue for me in every shot. Quite often I'm on another planet.
Just a touch long. Well, you've got opposite ends of the spectrum. You can bring the heat. We know Maria Jose Martinez Sanchez is not bringing the heat at this stage of her career, but it just goes to show you, you can win tennis games a lot of ways.
We certainly can. She's got great volleys, terrific hands, great awareness in the court of where to go, where to move, where her opponent is.
20 WTA doubles crowns in her career, including the 2009 WTA finals. Strong winner from Gvortseva down the line.
The problem is, if you hit it in at 74 miles an hour right into the hitting zone of Gvortseva, Lepchenko is a sitting duck at the net. No chance for her to react. Look at this. It's just perfect. You can't cover that line. Great control from Gvortseva.
15:30.
Great combination from Lepchenko and Martinez Sanchez. I was really surprised we didn't see Spears get into the net the first chance she got. I would have backed her in. Martinez Sanchez was able to move forward. It was great hands from Gvortseva to keep him in the point, but then the movement from Martinez Sanchez to close down the final volley was just too good.
Well, a pair of lefties for the Empire push it to 30-all. Lepchenko put away, game point. We talk about 20 career doubles titles. You can still keep picking them off into your 30s. That's a great sign. Happened for Maria Jose earlier this year. Won in Rabat in May. Made another final in Mallorca in June. Tournament she won last year.
Game. Empire, 2-game call.
Martinez, Sanchez, and Lepchenko all even against Spears and Gvortseva. Empire lead by 1 game overall here tonight in World Team Tennis. Tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern, join CBS Sports Network for more World Team Tennis. The Washington Castles battle the San Diego Aviators. That's right here in the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. San Diego, another of those teams still with playoff aspirations, just like Luke Jensen and the New York Empire. And for more on the head coach of New York, let's check in with Olivia.
Jensen was telling Maria to make sure to be tough on Olga's second serve. He said, even if you lose the point, you'll still make her very uncomfortable that next time around. He also loves Maria's soft hands at the net. He calls her Dr. Feelgood.
Of course he does. He was talking before the match that tonight with Fish here, it was going to be a Marty party, and it was for New York as they started out with that 5-4 win in the opening set.
Well, look at him. He looks fired up, doesn't he, Luke Jensen? He's dead serious tonight.
Of course, joining the coaching ranks in World Team Tennis, Murphy, longtime leader of the Castles in Washington.
He'll love the fact he's got a better record than his brother, first league in the season. First season in the league, I should say.
We know where you're going.
I got mixed up coming from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. I've mixed things up a little bit there.
You have kept your wits about you on your grand tour of the states here, this 3-week World Team Tennis season. Martinez Sanchez to best the Springfield duo. Ace from Gavortseva.
30 off.
What you see here, World Team Tennis, got 4 great doubles players, all in their 30s, all making wonderful careers for themselves. And I love what you said the other night about doubles players that are thriving still into their 30s. They know what they are, and they know how to perform how they should be.
Well, they're so in control of what they do, and they work on the exact things they need to be successful. And there's a reason why they're still so successful at that age.
Power from Lepchenko up the gut. And we have our first deciding point of the night.
And when you've done all the work and you know it's there, it's just see ball, hit ball, and that's all that was from Lepchenko.
No ad scoring. Next point wins the game. And it'll belong to Springfield. Spears has been busy at the net and converted. And it is a hold for the Lasers. We're all even overall at 7 apiece, 3-2 for Springfield in the set.
Well, it's easy to hold serve when your partner's doing things like that. Terrific from Abigail Spears, closing the net down.
And that's big for Springfield. Last night in Philadelphia, 2 stats that certainly had to bug the Lasers. 4 of 12 only on deciding points, 2 of 14 on break chances. The from Lipchenko didn't work, but the little lob from Martinez Sanchez did.
Well, Dr. Feelgood, as we're going to call it from now on, that was terrific hands from Martinez Sanchez. All sorts of trouble. Spears couldn't get up to put this away, but it was the hands there. Such in control, never looked panicked. The net cord undoing Spears there. It was a great ball cross court to set up the point, but the net tape just darted so quickly with so much angle. Had to take the second hand off the racket. Unable to control that one.
Touch long for Lipchenko. Lasers on the board of the game. Little header work there for the Spaniard.
When you get older and you haven't got the power, you've got to use your head, Jason.
That's right. She and her partner a point away from maybe following the trend of the opening set of men's singles and heading towards a tiebreak. Even things up at 3 apiece, retake the overall lead. This is a stark difference from what we saw when the two teams met earlier this year.
Well, it certainly is, but it's great tennis right now from everybody on the court. So hard to pick who's going to get through this one. Very different looking lineup for both teams from what we saw early in the season, though. So hard to know what's going to happen here.
In that match, the Lasers won all 5 sets, but they set the tone. They won men's and women's singles, both 5-2 to start. You're in a 6-game hole after 2. That's a long way to dig out of.
That's a long way anywhere to dig out of. But here, against a team that was at that stage so confident, you got to think that would have been part of Luke Jessen's message prior to this match too. This team's lost 3 in a row. We're a big chance here tonight.
And make the case that besides Philly, New York's hottest team in the league, winning 5 of its last 7.
That was a great return from Martinez Sanchez. Took that early and then moved in behind the return to give Spears such limited options on that forehand volley. Tried to squeeze one up the line here, really wasn't there. Normally she'd just push that back cross court, but with Martinez Sanchez moving forward, that wasn't an option.
Just a touch of miscommunication and Spears couldn't recover.
Well, maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but Lipchenko realized Gavortova was so tight on the net. Look how close she gets here. And then all of a sudden, Lipchenko didn't actually have to do that much. Gavortova just that big jump forward. She was a sucker for the lob once she did that.
So a love 30 deficit here for Springfield. And now New York really has Springfield feeling some pressure here. A bunch of break points to look at.
Well, big opportunity now. It's been a lot of pressure since the change of ends from the New York team, and a huge opportunity to put a little bit of a gap on the night.
Martinez, Sanchez forge ahead, and the chance to close it out on the Empire serve.
Well, Springfield looked so good early in this one, and then all of a sudden in a New York minute, the Empire, they've got the break. And they're looking inspired tonight.
So the two newcomers, Marty Fish, Varvara Lepchenko, paying immediate dividends for New York. Fish 5-4 the opening set, and potentially 5-3 here for Martinez, Sanchez, and Lepchenko.
How well did she just lean on this backhand? There was almost no backswing, but with the body weight and the shoulder dip down, that was a laser down the line.
Experienced stuff, and we've got more high-level doubles to come as the men take center stage next.
Well, I think Lepchenko actually hit an out ball in that first one, but it was just self-preservation to try to reflex it back, and then unlucky for Spears that next one clips the net tape.
And New York is a point away from the set victory, and this happened in a flash. It was really tight, and since then it's been 7 straight points here for the Empire.
Well, it all came off the back of that opportunity the previous service game after the change of ends. Big momentum swing.
And the Empire have the lead. Second straight set victory. 5-4 to begin, and now 5-3 for Maria Jose Martinez Sanchez and Varvara Lepchenko.
What a big set of tennis from the New York Empire, giving themselves a huge lift here in the first 2 sets.
One minute.
overtime finalists in Wimbledon mixed doubles. And the finals in mixed doubles in Wimbledon this year with Yelena.
30 seconds. I called 1 minute already.
He will be joined with MVP Lopez Bennett, who played in men's singles earlier tonight. One champion title China and this year over velocity. Also in quarterfinals in Spain. And quarterfinals in Canada as well. Moving on the Empire, we'll all sit down. To the chair's right, Will Shepsey. This is your World Tennis Olympic England. They are ready for the semifinals in mixed doubles with Javier Sanchez. One regular this year with Henry with his brother Ken. Also on Arizona this year with Jake Merritt. Three-time All-Americans at
15 seconds.
He will be teamed up to the chair's line with Marty Fish, who won the first tiebreaker. It is 9th-year World Tennis third year with New York.
First two sets going the way of the New York Empire. 5-4 men's singles, 5-3 women's doubles. So the Lasers try to snap a 3-game slide and inch closer to a playoff spot. The cause not going so far so well here in the Bronx, and the Empire too bidding for a playoff bid. Sam, look pretty good.
Well, confidence is huge in any sport, and winning's a habit. And at the moment, the Empire, they're on a good streak, and Springfield's in a slump, and it started again here tonight.
Men's doubles coming up. So Marty Fish back on the court after his win earlier. He'll be paired with Neil Skupski, having another fine season for the Empire. Enrique Lopez Perez will be paired up with Robert Lindstedt for Springfield. We mentioned Marty Fish stepped away from the game a couple of years ago. 8 doubles titles on the ATP Tour, so certainly this part of his game was great when he was on tour. And he'll serve first here with Skupski. And he mentioned the forehand for him is kind of what went away. You're in a familiar or somewhat similar scenario. You stepped away from the game the last couple of years. For you as we roll along.
Yeah, I can't hit a forehand either.
Well, my point is this: as we go along here, when you play every day and you're at the highest levels, you've got that game. For a weekend player, doesn't play for a couple weeks, they lose it. When you don't play after playing every day for years and years and years, what goes first?
Well, it's the shots that you don't have as much confidence in. And you'd love every shot to be technically perfect, but sometimes they aren't. So for Fish, the backhand comes back easily, the serve comes back easily. For me, same sort of thing. The serve and the backhand, the volleys are pretty comfortable, but you lose the shots that probably were your least confident on tour, the same ones that when you didn't feel 100% in a match on a certain day would be the same ones to go. They're the ones that seem to abandon you super quick.
Marty had relatively little stress on his serve in his singles matchup. He is at 15-30 in this set. Again, that silver medal in Athens at the 2004 Olympics. Top 10 in singles. Now the Davis Cup team captain. Third season with the Empire. 6 singles titles on tour and the 8 in doubles.
Yeah, so many accomplishments. So hard to throw a net over the Fish with just a one-page graphic, everything he did in the sport of tennis.
Quarterfinals at 3 of the 4 Grand Slams, the Australian, Wimbledon, and here in New York at the US Open.
Well, Lindstedt.
Yeah, it's long.
And Lindstedt kicking off right where he did last night as well. He returned great in the 2 sets, his first appearance for the season. Last night, he thought he played well. I had a bit of a catch-up with him after the match, and at 42 years of age in his career, he's just of the opinion, same thing. Just see ball, hit ball. You've done it for long enough.
First break point that New York has faced all the night. Oh, Skupski with an all-world save, but Springfield gets the opening break.
Well, that was an incredible point. I thought it was done for all money when Lindstedt crossed onto the backhand volley, trying to put it away. This one here, but Skupski somehow flicked that off his toes. Lopez Perez just doing enough with the forehand to put Marty Fish in trouble. Huge opening break for Springfield to try to bring this one back a little bit.
Enormous beginning for the Lasers. Robert Lindstedt, again, second night of duty this season for Springfield. The veteran paired with Lopez Perez of Spain.
Well, Lindstedt's had a couple of chances the last 2 points to put the ball away, and Skupski this time again with the remarkable pickup, and this time he wins the point with it.
Past male rookie of the year in World Team Tennis, Neil Skupski, now 29 years old, from Liverpool, England.
Well, he's making the right moves, Lindstedt. This time just gets enough on the high backhand to put Skupski in too much trouble to make it, but they're the ones you really want to be burying those into the stands.
$15-all. Lindstedt played a few seasons of World Team Tennis, last year with the Washington Castles. He's got 22 ATP doubles titles in his career. Lopez Perez hung right with Marty Fish throughout their singles affair, proving to be quite capable doubles player in World Team Tennis.
40-15.
It's been a quick start from the Lasers. Fish just struggling a little bit early. Broken his opening service game, struggling to find the center of the racket on those last few balls. If you're the Lasers, you've got to jump on this and try and strike while the iron's hot.
Double fault from Lopez Perez. Hawkeye Live making all the calls. No lines judges here. Computer makes all the calls. There are recorded voices that activate when they're out. See the cameras doing their thing. And now New York has grabbed its way back in.
When you're talking about having to strike when the iron's hot, you're up a break, you're up 40-15, you throw a cheap double fold in, one good return, and all of a sudden a huge point now to see if the Empire can get it back on serve.
Lopez Perez needed a big serve, and he delivered one.
He did well to get himself out of trouble after putting himself there.
2-love in the set for the Lasers. They've cut the New York lead down to 1. Time now for Skupski to serve as you look at Hawkeye Live. Again, we do have a chair umpire, Rich Yarlott, who will oversee in case there needs to be an overrule. There's 12 tracking cameras all around the court, 6 that can call foot faults. There is Rich overseeing things. He'll step in if needed. Players getting used to this. You don't see it on tour. You may see it at some smaller events. They've worked with it at the Next Gen event in the ATP a couple of times.
Yeah, a little adjustment. First time you hear a call, you look around and try and work out where it's come from. It's a little bit different.
Well, no more kind of given that look to the lines judge, right?
Or you can look up at the Hawkeye operators possibly, but definitely takes away that human judgment.
15 off.
And you can still hear the players sometimes, even though it is all electronic and computer generated, they still want to see the replay. Sometimes they still don't trust it.
I'm waiting for somebody to stare down one of the cameras that made the call. Neil Skupski, we mentioned from Liverpool, number of seasons, World Team Tennis. Got his first 2 ATP doubles crowns last year with his big brother Ken, who's playing for Orlando this year.
He needs to hold serve here. Down 2-love in a hurry. He's got to get the game on the board here, because otherwise this set could be gone and that New York Empire lead will have evaporated.
3-time All-American in college at LSU. He got one of those titles last year with his brother Ken, another with fellow Brit Joe Salisbury, who actually was ticketed to play for Springfield earlier this year and heard it in Wimbledon. A lot of Brits in the top 50, top 60 in men's doubles on tour.
That was a big return from Lindstedt. Fish made the move cross court. Here the umpire called touch. Well, I don't know whether he was trying to hit it or get out of the way, but just flicked his racket. Watch this unload on the forehand from Lindstedt. Fish just got himself in a real spot of bother there.
Hardy with his hand up on the way by. Game point still looming for New York.
Game, Empire.
Critical hold
2 games to 1.
for Luke Jensen's team. Down 1 in this set, but back up 2 overall.
Yeah, important hold, that one. Quickly down 2-love in men's doubles. Normally see the men's doubles go so quick with service games. You don't want to go down an early break, but if you do, you've got to hold that next game and just somehow find a way to steer the ship. They've done that. Now try and get early points on return.
Lopez Perez trying to get the forehand on that, and a wild cut.
I think he tried to hit that way too hard. He tried to absolutely get this ball to stick in the court. All he had to do was hit an okay over. I think Lindstedt maybe, just on watching the replay as well, got in his way a touch too, which actually made it more difficult.
Skupski running out of real estate in the back. Lindstedt, Grand Slam champion in doubles. The Australian 2014 with Lucas Kubat. Oh so close, 3 straight years with Horia Takao. Wimbledon did make the US Open semifinals in men's doubles in 2015. And a run to the Wimbledon final this year in mixed with Elena Ostapenko.
Well, it was a point that had absolutely everything. Terrific hands from all 4 guys. Great movement. This one from Lindstedt was awesome. Somehow Skupski runs it down, and then Fish probably got the easiest ball at the point and pushed it wide.
30-15.
Tremendous stuff. Lindstedt, age 42, still cooking. We saw Daniel Nestor working into his mid-40s. Robert said long as he can keep playing, he will.
Well, good return from Skupski. Got that one down low. Lindstedt trying to flick the half volley straight at Fish at the net. They're obviously targeting him a little bit, realising they're not playing. Maybe the speed of hands not as quite as quick, just purely by not hitting the volume of balls he used to.
30 all. Oh, it's in. Smile from Marty.
Lindstedt had a play on that for sure. The out call came from Lopez Perez. It's Lindstedt. First reaction, listen to your partner. Second reaction, uh-oh.
Break opportunity, New York.
Deciding point, receiver's choice.
And still one to deal with here. They do get it to the deciding point. Springfield's taken both thus far.
Well, interesting to see Fish taking this one. He's opted, I think Lindstedt, he was definitely around when Marty Fish was playing. Wouldn't be surprised to see this serve go out to the forehand.
That's where it went, and it works.
Blazers lead, 3 games to 1.
Key hold for Springfield. 3-1 in the set. The Lasers looking for their first set victory of the night, as it's a back and forth affair here. World Team Tennis in New York.
Ball boy down, please.
Tight battle so far in the Bronx. The Empire by 1 overall in the Lasers. Springfield with a 3-1 lead in this men's doubles set. Lasers, of course, defending champions of World Team Tennis. Long-awaited breakthrough. Year 23 in the league. JLD Yeager and the Lasers hoisted the King Trophy as champs last year. Who's going to do it this year? These two teams both hope to be among the contenders as we go downstairs and check in with Olivia.
Yeah, guys, Luke Jensen's message is keep digging. You're right there. And over on the Springfield bench, you see tons of team support. That's just kind of been their mark this season when we saw them last night, especially Abby Spears. She's fun to watch. And then, Sam, I was going to ask you just the difference in body language and facial expression from Robert and Enrique and how you see them gelling as partners.
Well, I think they've actually gelled pretty well together. Obviously, a little bit of concern from Lindstedt. In the last game with that little bit of miscommunication, but I think both have settled into this environment fairly well. And, you know, Robbie's been around for a long time, so he likes things done a certain way and he's used to things happening a certain way. Gets a little bit stuck in the way he goes about things sometimes, but he seems to be adjusting okay.
cruising over for the put away with Fish. When you play with someone for the first time, do you know right away if it's going to work or not in a big way?
You get a pretty good feeling. And you also try to work out fairly quickly who's sort of going to be the person that leads a little bit. So you've obviously both have your input, but someone always, and it's not necessarily the same in every match. You sort of get a feel for that as well. Who needs to step up when, and sometimes you got to pick your partner up. If they're having a bad day, or if you're having a bad day, you might need that help.
Roped from Lindstedt.
Well, he's backhands his strength, especially on return, Lindstedt. That's easy pickings for him. 100-mile-an-hour serve, right in the zone. Simple swing. Great return. And they're going to need a couple of break points, but I just wonder, Olivia asking me how I thought they were gelling. Is she seeing something we're not quite seeing up here?
No, I don't know about that. I'm just saying they're such different players in the way they behave after a point is won or lost. And I was wondering if you could read more into it since you have played with Robert.
I've been on the receiving end of a few Lindstedt glares over my career. Don't you worry about that.
I think I have too.
Geico timeout. Big spot here with some break chances on the board. Robert Lindstedt just jumped into World Team Tennis a couple of years ago, said not often you can do something new in your career at age 40, but like the team concept in college tennis for him.
What a miss from Neil Skupski. I think he just thought that was too easy, took his eye off the ball, wrapped that around the frame maybe, a bit low in the throat. That's a miss that's, I caught the side of the frame, but that's a bad miss, not just from him, but just for the Empire in terms of the scoreboard as well.
Well, you're cruising along two quality set victories, men's singles and women's doubles, and now it's tied. Chance for Lopez Perez to seal the set potentially at 5-1 and give the Lasers the overall advantage. Now Lopez Perez chucks in a double fault.
I feel like that's just where he can improve. We see his ranking sitting where it is at the moment, and just a little bit better awareness of what's a big point. And even though you're 4-1 up, you've got a double break lead. First point of the game, in this format, it's a big point. You want to hold serve here and give your team the lead on the night. 5-1 set, that's huge.
Just a dash long, 15 all. Lopez Perez, again, just outside the top 200 in singles. See the career high earlier this year. Doubles 135, 154 in singles, won an ATP Challenger in China in March, and 2 finals in ATP Challengers in doubles this year.
Great point from the New York Empire to give themselves a 15-30 look, but this was a great smash from Skupski. Lindstedt, I don't even know if he saw that ball. Easy put away for Fish though to finish. This is where that first point double fault as well becomes costly. All of a sudden, one good point from the Empire, 15-30.
Oh, Skupski able to get that back, and now the Empire throwing the pressure directly back in Springfield's face.
And you like to say every point you should play the same and every point is worth the same and matters. But when you're playing, there's certainly points that you want to put more emphasis on. And that first point of the game was one. And I know we can say 4 points later, maybe it doesn't matter. But I look back at it now and say this whole game, these break points all stem from that opening double fault.
And there it is, the quick break back for New York. Empire regained the lead. Still a large mountain to climb in the set, but they're gaining games, and that counts huge in the overall.
Well, that's the thing. It should have been over. It should have been 12-11, Springfield leading. All of a sudden, New York now serving. Neil Skupski, you think, well, odds are he'll probably hold his serve. More often than not, you would in men's doubles. All of a sudden, 13-11. Even if Springfield closes it out, they're going to go into the next set with a deficit still on the scoreboard. That was a terrible game from the Springfield Lasers.
And now Skupski can ill afford to fall into a similar type hole here for New York. Smile for him playing with Fish. Again, paired up with a former high-profile American star. He should be used to that in doubles these days. Paired up now with a former #1 doubles player in the world with a famous last name, Jamie Murray, brother of Andy. And Fish gets tagged center of the court.
Well, that was hit like an absolute rocket. If you're going to make a move, you don't want to see a serve go into the middle of the box from your partner, and you just become an absolute target.
Love 30 hole now for the Empire.
Well, it was there to be hit for Lindstedt, wasn't it?
That says it all.
He knew that was a big opportunity. That was going to be a whole handful of break points had he have made that one.
Strong first serve and the put away from Fish.
Well, I know the motto here is every point counts in World Team Tennis, and it's so true. Everything can swing so quickly. 4-1, serving for the Lasers. Then all of a sudden, 30 love, second serve opportunity in this game. And now we're looking at it's going to be 4-3, and they're going to be serving for the set again, but the scoreboard is completely swung.
126-mile-an-hour pop from Skupski. Hit a big spot. Marty Fish able to finish. And New York gets that desired hole.
Well, the worst case scenario now, they walk out of this set with a lead. And you would take that. You were staring at a 5-1 loss and being down on the scoreboard right now. Even if Lindstedt holds serves here, you walk away, I would think, pretty happy with her out on the scoreboard for what it looked like. Saw Lindstedt getting a hole in his last service game as well with a little bit of miscommunication with his new partner.
Coverage there from Lopez Perez.
Yeah, that's what doubles guys they work on a lot, and he spent a lot of time with Jean-Julien Roger through that, well, the majority of the season until last night. That's something I think Jules would have worked on a lot with him. That move onto the first volley and angling it off into the stands.
such a great facet of World Team Tennis for a player trying to continue to climb the rankings, getting the chance to work with veterans like Rogier and Lindstedt to continue to kind of build their mental portfolios on the court.
While playing with guys who've won a number of Grand Slam titles.
Give you a look at Luke Jensen, what he sees while he's on the court. But his team right now staring at a set point for Springfield. And as you said, he can't be too displeased. Team getting that break and hold.
I think that may have
grazed him on the way by.
Just a touch.
Yeah. Well, he hit Lopez with the first serve, and then Lopez Perez hit the winner to end the set.
Well, if you saw any coverage of Wimbledon, I think Lindstedt got hit in the head about 4 times by Ostapenko over the course of the week. Maybe trying to give a little bit of revenge to a different partner.
Passing the buck, Springfield gets the win here in men's doubles. Big opportunity for the Lasers to close the gap against New York here in this key matchup in World Team Tennis. Let's check in with Olivia Decker.
Okay, I'm with Enrique. First of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Was a close one. He touched me, but no.
You said something in Spanish. I didn't know what you were saying. What did you say?
It's like I need a haircut, but I don't want this way. I want to go to the barbery, so please don't cut my hair. Like.
Well, congratulations. You got the first set for your team tonight. Can you feel the intensity heating up a little bit as we get closer to playoffs?
Yeah, for us it's getting tight, everything, because we start really good the season. And last day we lost really close.
Vamos.
So now it's the first time we are starting to feel a little bit the pressure to win one match at least. And it's tight, everything.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys.
Olivia, thanks. Close call for Enrique Lopez Perez, but he and Robert Lindstedt able to finish off the set. It's a close one overall here. One game separating the Empire and Lasers.
Number 4.
World Team Tennis on CBS.
1 minute.
World Team Tennis on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by USTA, the United States Tennis Association, and music provided by Free Play Music.
Lady Liberty looking great here in New York City. New York Empire looking really great until that last set of men's doubles against the Springfield Lasers. Springfield taking it 5-3, but it could have been much worse.
What certainly could have, serving with a 4-1 lead. The Lasers a chance to close out 5-1, put themselves ahead on the scoreboard. Really let a couple slip away from them there.
Women's singles up next, fourth of the 5 sets here tonight. Mixed doubles will close it. And a look at Olga Gavortseva, getting past Wimbledon girls doubles champ with her countrywoman from Belarus, Vika Azarenka, past top 35 player in the world in women's singles. Has picked up certainly some titles in her career. The big thing for her, becoming a mom. February of 2018, Valentine's Day baby Dominic, now 17 months, working her way back to the highest levels of the tour, and that continues the grind of challengers.
Certainly does, but she looked good last night. She was on fire against Taylor Townsend.
Varvara Levchenko, her opponent, kind of doing the same thing right now. Former top 20 ranked player in the world, continuing to build herself back up. She's now 117 currently in the world women's singles rankings.
Well, that was the play that was so big for Gavortseva last night. The big first serve and then the forehand hit through, well, what would be a right-hander's backhand, but again tonight playing another lefty through Levchenko's forehand side of the court. That shot worked so well for her against Taylor Townsend.
Consecutive southpaws for Gavortseva to deal with. .30 all.
Different pressure tonight, though. Last night was playing with a big deficit to try to reel in, can maybe swing a little bit freely. Not expected to win tonight. Trying to get them back in the match. Great hitting from both ladies, but trying to get the Springfield Lasers back into the match, but then also get them into the lead with a set still to come.
She did that, winning in the tie break, sending it to extended play. She took the first game there, made it a 1-game affair. If she had gotten the break, would have forced a super tie break for the overall night's victory. Townsend did get the hold to make it 22-20 Philly win.
Game, Lasers, first game, first set.
Gavortseva able to hold.
Expect to see her jump all over the Levchenko serve. Levchenko wasn't getting huge amounts of pace on her serve in that double set. Was able to hide it and cover a little bit with the help of Martinez Sanchez at the net, but here in singles, if she's just putting those 70-mile-an-hour serves into the box, expect Gavortseva to climb all over those.
Proud American, became a citizen of the U.S. in 2007, did Levchenko. Lives in Allentown, PA. About an hour and a half or so here from the Bronx. And a double to begin for her, player that's been to the 3rd round of all 4 Grand Slams in singles in her career. 4th round at the French and at the U.S. Open. quick hole here for Lepchenko. Empire excited about bringing her in for the final 3 matches of the year as a sub. Kirsten Flipkins been the primary women's singles player for a good chunk of the year for New York. Struggling right now is the lefty. Hit that first serve in. And now she is in a big pickle. Down love 40.
We got to be playing well to start every point from so far behind. Hitting 70 mile an hour. That one was the fastest second serve, 79 miles an hour. But Gvortseva's jumping all over it, putting Lepchenko on the back foot right from the get-go.
Oh, what a backhand winner and a resounding break here for Springfield. Overall lead to the Lasers 2 now at 14-13.
We're going to get a Geico timeout because Luke Jensen wants to have a little bit of a chat to Lepchenko, but huge hitting from Gvortseva, really spreading the court with the use of the flat forehand, paying dividends for her, and then stepping in on the backhand. Beautiful change of direction up the line.
Luke Jensen doing a lot of listening.
We need to do a lot of something because their season's on the line right now, and they had that big lead. Well, I say big lead. They had that lead after the first 2 sets that they saw. What's now gone?
10-7 at one point. So from up 3 to down 1, and Gvortseva looking to pad it right now. And an ace for the Springfield Laser. Lepchenko mentioned it's her first appearance for New York this year. She did play as a fill-in for the Washington Castles a week ago. Lost in women's doubles, but did win 5-4 in the tiebreak in women's singles against 17-year-old rising American Whitney Esigwe of the Orlando Storm. And a look up here. Again, to just see the close call coming from Hawkeye Live.
Second serve.
And the second serve is coming.
No call actually came on the court there, so the New York Empire wanted to actually see the serve. And when they see it, it's out.
Second serve.
We saw a few issues with Hawkeye last night affect that match with Springfield, a foot fault call that wasn't heard on the court, but I'm not quite sure what happened there. It was clearly out, but no call came through.
Plus 15. Plus 30.
Lepchenko looking for a way to claw back in this set. Working her way there.
That off forehand from Gvortsova does some serious damage. She gets the ball right at the top of the bounce and then is able to create such pace from up high.
Shevchenko would have loved to have had that back. You talked about the size of Gvortsova, 5'11", and using that length and that whipping ability with that motion.
Coming back from any time away from the tour is tough. Coming back, I'm sure, from having a child and then the extra pressures that puts on. But just the last few days traveling to the same venues as the ladies. We've seen Gvortsova in the gym at the hotels we've been staying at. She's doing a lot of work to get herself back in the perfect shape to be able to play great tennis again, and it's showing here.
And now the double here to get to the deciding point. She had shared with us last night that it's been a challenge, maybe harder than she thought it would be.
Just losing control of the ball toss a little bit on that last serve, a little bit of wind getting up.
And that's long, and the Empire get a critical break.
Was a huge break for the New York Empire there. Gvortsova started off so quickly in this set. A few errors coming from the racket. Levchenko now needs to find a way to hold serve.
Huge response for the Empire women's singles player. And now the 33-year-old lefty ready to get down to business and try to hold here for New York. Sam, so often you hear top-level performers talk about it's hard to get to the top level in your respective career. It's really hard to stay there. I would imagine when you fall out for whatever the reason, it's really, really hard to get back there.
Well, it's tough because you know you have the ability, but the confidence sometimes wanes, a little bit of doubt comes into your mind. And for these two, for example, you start to push on a little bit in age as well on tour, and that makes it harder. Can't always train as hard as you did when you were 20 or 25.
30 love.
High quality here for these two head-to-head in World Team Tennis. Going to pass top 20 ranked singles player with that mark of 19 back in 2012. 30-15. Remember Lepchenko a couple of years ago that run the fourth round at the U.S. Open? Remember hearing some of her post-match interviews, the excitement about that for a naturalized citizen at her home slam of her new nation to really make a deep push there.
Yeah, anytime you can do well at home, and it is home for her, it's such a huge feeling.
Luke Jensen during this Geico timeout, continuing to pump up his new player. Jaeger doing the same for Gvortseva.
Time.
7-1 start to the season for Springfield. 3 straight losses. They still can clinch a playoff spot tonight with a win and an Orange County loss at home later to Orlando.
You heard Enrique Lopez Perez saying, we start to feel a little bit more pressure now, and you wonder whether having fresh blood in Lindstedt and Gvortseva, maybe they don't feel the pressure as much because they haven't been there through that first part of the season. They're just coming in fresh.
Well, the service troubles that plagued Lepchenko in her initial service game in this set have appeared again. 30-all.
Well, she needs to get that first serve into the court, because when she does, she can start the point from neutral, and then she can use her big forehand to dominate like she did there. Gvortseva dropping this one in way too short right here off this backhand. Trying to create height, but too easy for Lepchenko.
Able to get it done. New York celebrating a square set and retaking the lead. Playoff pressure for 2 potential playoff teams as alive in New York.
Take a look at the video board to our right for the question. Let's see how good you guys are. Part one here. What is a popular nickname for New York City? A, the Big Cheese. B, the Big Apple. C, the Big Kahuna. Second one, guys. All right, together with the Big Apple, we're going to give you a look at it. James, give him an applause. Congratulations. Five. You guys want to share that hat? It's a 2-for-1 special. Let's hear it from Mikey Guy tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's go Empire.
Varvara Lepchenko, newcomer to the New York Empire, working hard to get back in women's singles, evening things up against Olga Gvortseva. And a look at that reaction to the last point.
Well, it was a big hole for the New York Empire. They were in a hole early in this set, and she's done well to pull it back to 2 games all and keep her team in the lead on the overall scoreboard.
Fired up, proving herself to her bench as we head down to Olivia.
Guys, New York was only up 1 game coming into this set, and Coach Jensen just begged Levchenko. He said, let's lift the energy. Now is the time, knowing we're kind of in dire straits now. But he said that roller was so nice. It was a smart move to set up that point.
And Gvortseva starting off with a big forehand, couple of power forehands in this matchup.
Well, it certainly is, and you can see the pressure in Luke Jensen. I think, and Olivia's got the perfect view of it, that head's looking shinier than ever down there.
Both players lining up their strength and then capitalizing.
Well, it's definitely a battle of the big forehands, and whoever's going to land the most of them is going to be the one that comes out on top. Earlier it was Gvortseva. Levchenko now really starting to find her range. They just keep coming. We'll get a highlight reel of all these forehands put together. They're lighting them up.
See if the trend continues or we get a steady diet of backhands at some juncture. Gvortseva just having Levchenko on the run.
Game later.
Power service came for Olga Gvortseva and Springfield. 3-2 the lead in the set, and we're deadlocked one more time at 15.
Well, it was a big game to settle herself after having the early lead in the set. Really great hitting from the Belarusian. Again, dominant with the forehand. Whoever gets the first big hit on a forehand, you have to give them a huge chance in winning the point.
So back to the serve for Levchenko. Had better success in the last game with first serves. Has not won a point on a second serve in the set. Something to remember. Doesn't need one there.
15 love.
Olga wants another look at this. It is on the line.
Maybe we'll get our first person glaring at the camera.
Yeah, there is no challenge ability in this computerized system. Chair does have the right to overrule.
Real struggles with that second serve. She almost has a little bit of a pause and a stutter with her knee bend halfway through that service motion, and she doesn't time that exactly perfect. It completely disrupts her rhythm.
Got it to the power side of Gvortseva, and she made Levchenko pay.
Oh, again, just rolling the second serve into the box. You've almost just got to take a little bit off the first, use the slider, try and use that to open up the court, because missing first serves right now is so deadly for Levchenko. incredible volley. She took a full swipe at that backhand volley below the height of the net. Unbelievable point to bring up 2 break opportunities.
Pretty healthy cut. And now New York has a chance to fall further behind in the set. Gvortseva down the line to get things done. Big break of serve, her second of the set, and Springfield regains the overall lead.
Levchenko was so far up in this point, and it was the defensive slice backhand from Gvortseva that caused all sorts of problems. Easy put away after Levchenko's drop shot attempt was far below average.
How about the swings in this set here? The variety of breaks, Springfield erasing that early overall 3-game lead for New York to get it back at 16-15. Chance to serve for the set now for Gvortseva.
Love.
Extended rally, Springfield point.
30 love.
Well, both players taking full cuts at every ground stroke. I mean, it's really tremendous hitting from both women, but it's Gvortseva that's consistently coming out on top of those longer rallies.
Bunting in the second serve at 66 miles an hour, and it works to get her to the set point.
Well, let off for Gvortseva from Levchenko there. Big, big miss.
Levchenko with a little extra oomph on that one, but Springfield still with set points to come.
Well, there hasn't been too many errors coming off that side of the court from Gvortseva, and it's amazing, just a little bit of pressure. As soon as you can see the finish line, you start to think about it a little bit. Maybe you lose your intent just a touch, backed off that forehand a little bit, loses it into the net.
And Levchenko, huge response forcing a deciding point here in the game.
All right, fans, it is the slide point. Receivers choice to choose on the right. Here's a Hawkeye review of the video awards.
Lepchenko ripping off 3 straight points, looking for a 4th in this deciding point situation.
Full credit to Lepchenko. She kept the ball in the court. Gvortseva got tight.
Springfield lead, 4 games to 3.
And that could be massive in the context of this evening. The forehand, which had been so dominant out of nowhere, packed bags and left.
Varvara Lepchenko with a huge game victory in the break for New York. If she can hold, she can send it to a tiebreak. And Sam, this is World Team Tennis in a nutshell. It's not going right for New York. They're flat. There's no buzz for Lepchenko. Wins a point or two. The bench, the crowd get invested, and suddenly the pressure is inverted on Springfield.
Well, I'm sure Neil Skupski and Maria Jose Martinez Sanchez thought they were about to be on the court. Just on the court with a deficit they're going to have to reel in, and what's a must-win match for them. And all of a sudden now, the momentum is completely swung. Gvortseva's missing balls that she couldn't have possibly missed early in the set.
Some baseline bashing between the two, and Lepchenko is thriving right now.
Wow, this is a complete turnaround. And from being down 40 love on the Gvortseva serve, match points galore, all of a sudden, Lepchenko, she's got points to push this to a tiebreaker.
Looking for an 8th straight point here over these last 2 games. What an immense surge here for the Empire. Varvara Lepchenko pushes women's singles to a set tiebreak.
Well, they were down. You felt like they were going to be 2 games down here into mixed doubles, and now all the momentum has swung the way of Varvara Lepchenko. And if she can somehow squeeze out a tiebreak win here, the New York Empire are going to go into the final set with a 2-game lead.
And mixed doubles has been the strength of the Empire this year. Team of Skupski and Martinez Sanchez will face Lindstedt and Spears. That's coming up, but first we've got to decide the victor here in women's singles. end that epic rally.
Well, that was just toe-to-toe from the baseline from both these women. What a grueling point to open up the tiebreaker. And Gvortsova absolutely scorches a backhand winner to finish.
Well, after watching the last two games go sideways, what a point to begin the tiebreak for Springfield. New York now with the mini break.
Well, another great point from Levchenko. As soon as she gets the chance to get on top of a forehand, she takes full advantage. And right now, this match is just sitting on a knife edge.
Marty Fish, rest of the Empire loving it. First to 5 in the tiebreak, takes the set. The makings of another extended rally before Levchenko cracks with a forehand wide.
Just interesting to see how players handle the pressure of different score situations. Gvortsova wasn't able to finish, went up. Levchenko somehow fought her way back. And then when she gets to level in the score, the cheap error comes again.
Two apiece. Serve heads back to Gvortsova and Springfield. Players ready to trade ends here after 4 in the tiebreak. What a treat this set's been, whole night's been, really.
We've looked at getting a couple of blowouts in both of these last couple of sets. Neither of them have eventuated, and it's turned this into an amazing encounter on the night.
Yeah, and here's what's at stake. Philadelphia is locked into the playoffs. The final 3 playoff spots up for grabs. Really, Washington the only team eliminated at this point. Orlando, Vegas still with slim chances. Orange County hoping to continue a bid tonight at home against Orlando. The Empire and Springfield both desperately closing in on spots. Lasers win tonight, and the Breakers fall at home to Orlando. Springfield, the defending champions, are in.
They lose tonight. We've got 3 teams on 7-5 in Orange County chomping at the heels of all 3 of those teams. It's another cheap error on a level scoreboard point from Levchenko. I think I heard Taylor Swift in the crowd there, telling Levchenko to shake it off.
Levchenko does indeed shake and spank that one to the corner.
Well, again, went behind in score, comes up with a big forehand when needed, nothing on the serve from Gvortsova, 67 mile-an-hour second serve, middle of the box. If you're Lepchenko, you have to just knuckle down and play the best possible point. What's your favorite serve? Hit that serve. What's your favorite second shot? Hit that, and then play the point from there.
Key miss for Lepchenko. Set point Springfield.
Well, Lepchenko wants to see it, but it's not going to make a difference. The computer Hawkeye Live's called it out. There's no challenging.
Springfield.
For the 4th time in this tiebreaker, an error at a level point in the scoreboard.
All the work for Varvara Lepchenko to scrape back in the set. Could be all for naught if she does not convert on these last 2 points. Needs this one to stay alive now. And Gvortseva prevails.
Springfield, 5 games to 4.
A smile, maybe relief for the Springfield newcomer as she closes the deal. Second straight night, she outlasts her opponent in a tiebreak to win in women's singles.
What a great effort again from Gvortseva. Great hitting from both of them. This is a high-quality set of tennis. Gvortseva had a huge chance to give Springfield the lead. They're going to come out of it tied, but I'm so excited. After the tennis we've seen tonight through 4 sets for this final set of tennis, what a match with huge implications on the season.
2 teams looking to get to the playoffs, all tied up, going to the final set as Olga's standing by with Olivia.
Thank you, guys. Olga, that may have been the most exciting set of the day. You had such early momentum, but then you had a scrap for it at the end. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I started really, really well, and I thought the serve was in, and then it's kind of, I lost the momentum, got to 2-all, then we changed the side, and then I kind of found my game again, and I don't know, she just started like, I couldn't make the first serve in the 4-2, and she just started turning so deep, and I kind of like didn't go for my first serve, and 4-all, and then I was like, okay, I have nothing to lose, I need to keep playing again.
Well, your team needed that. Congratulations.
Thank you,
guys.
Big win for Olga Gvortseva and for Springfield, the defending champs and the New York Empire, both trying to close in on a playoff spot, all tied, headed to the final set. Wednesday night, 7 Eastern, CBS Sports Network takes it to a different court with a WNBA showdown between Atlanta and Indiana, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Will it be as hotly contested as this has been tonight here in World Team Tennis? Springfield and New York, two teams searching to get to the World Team Tennis playoffs this weekend in Vegas. Right now, all deadlocked after 4 sets. Mixed doubles will decide it. As we roll here, no chance of extended play or
Simple
super
equation.
tiebreaker tonight. Yeah, the math is easy for us.
You win and you win.
Neil Skupski starting with an ace, paired up with Maria Jose Martinez Sanchez against Robert Lindstedt and Abby Spears for Springfield.
You just look at those few games across the course of the night that the Empire were able to scrape back. Down 4-1, men's doubles got a couple of extra ones on the board. Down 4-2 and women's singles, couple of extra ones on the board. All of a sudden, the team that they're really confident in, a mixed doubles team they've played so well for the whole season, gets to start the match at level terms.
Yeah, the Brit, quick 30 love lead with his partner on his serve. Make it 40 love. 113 miles an hour. Curving away. Second ace already. Holding love for Skupski and Martinez Sanchez. They have won a team-high 56% of their games. And Sam, you understand in a high-pressure format, how about this? They've won 71% of deciding points they've played, and they've been 12 of 19 on break chances, 63%. That's almost obscene.
Wow, that's incredible stats. It's one thing to say they're your clutch team, but those numbers, I mean, that's it's highly remarkable from this mixed doubles pairing.
Well, Lindstedt and Spears, certainly high caliber doubles tandem, again playing together for the second straight night, with Lindstedt joining the squad, placing Jean-Julien Rogier as the primary men's doubles player. Skupski coming up the line, blowing it past Spears.
Well, there's no holding back going at the women at the net for Skupski. You do what you do to win. There's an opponent on the other side, and you give it everything you've got.
Spears and Lindstedt both played with multiple partners on tour this year, so joining forces here in World Team Tennis. Martinez Sanchez roaming in as the Empire continuing to build on that non-set win for Levchenko, but winning games, getting back. You feel the energy for New York.
Well, the whole energy changed. 4-2, 40 love in that women's singles. Everyone was so flat. She breaks, she holds, we get to a tiebreak, the bench is up and about, and all of a sudden, the energy here from the team is lifted.
And Lindstedt in a bevy of trouble here in his service game. Great points for New York.
Wow, big momentum swing coming. It's been all New York for the last 15 minutes. They may not have won that last set, but they've carried all the momentum of the comeback into this one.
Rock solid first serve that time for Lindstedt.
Well, he needs another one here, though. 30-40. He's going to have to fight this one off. So he's going to have to win 2 points in a row, serving to Neil Skupski to get himself through this game.
Get a pair of Grand Slam doubles champions. Lindstedt, men's, the Australian 2014. Spears, mixed, the Australian in 2017. Skupski with a cross-court screamer, and New York has the break.
Right, incredible from Neil Skupski. Great return up the line, and then laser-like forehand. Lindstedt trying to cover the middle of the court. You give your opponent that outside edge, and they're too good. Quite often, or more than often, they're not. This time, Skupski is.
Bench pumped. New York up 2 in the set and the game. More action tomorrow for the regular season. Castles in San Diego. Playoffs coming from Vegas Friday and Saturday. All of that here on CBS Sports Network.
6 hours of tennis. Back-to-back, double header on Saturday. Looking forward to that one, Napa.
Certainly will be great with the action coming this weekend. Friday night's 6 hours. Then we get straight to the championship
Friday
Saturday.
night, 6 hours. It's Saturday in Australia then.
Either way, it should be like this, highly competitive. Potential playoff preview at some point. These two looking like they're already in playoff mode. That's what it feels like here in the Bronx.
Well, almost every match for New York is sudden death. Tonight will be massive. Springfield. I mean, I thought they would be guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, sitting on top. Couple of matches in hand, 7-1, top of the ladder, top of the standings. All of a sudden, they're going to be 7-5 if it keeps going. By the end of the night, they might not even sit in second place. They could be down to fourth. I mean, it depends the head-to-head records as well, but I guarantee you don't want to finish fourth and have to face the Freedoms in the opening match in the playoffs as well.
That's the other big issue, too, with Philly looking so strong. Skupski, Martinez, Sanchez are rolling. We mentioned home and home for the Empire with the Freedoms to round out the regular campaign the next 2 nights. How about this? Springfield got ahead of the other side of the country, potentially riding a 4-game losing streak if this doesn't turn around.
Wow. Jump on a plane and head across to must-win matches. They're going to face Orange County, who are in a similar position to New York tonight, where they have to win if they want to see themselves in those playoffs.
Again, it's been an accumulation of kind of little things every night. Again, JLD Yeager talking about some of the teams having some of their star players coming in. Sometimes you have that as a defending champion of a league. The target's on your back. Springfield dealing with that here in 2019. They're winning it all a year ago, 15-all. Abby Spears picking a fine time for a 105-mile-an-hour ace. Part of that championship squad.
Little friendly clip of the net cord for Lindstedt. It's a must-hold game right here for Lindstedt and Spears, though. This was a good chip lob from Skupski, good depth. Lindstedt got around. Opponents have taken up good court position. Undone by the net cord.
Spears and Lindstedt trying to get there.
Game.
And it is game point. Spears and Lindstedt weren't exactly sure. Score on the board is wrong, but it does belong here to Springfield. So the Lasers on the board in a winner-take-all set. Right now, the Empire 2 games away from a vital victory.
Done.
Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Neil and Maria. Let's go, New York! Ladies and gentlemen, we're 3-1 in our fifth set to the Junior Games. For the Empire to take this match on our final point. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the midst of a TV timeout.
Welcome back to New York, with the Empire lead 20-18 behind the dominating duo of Skupski and Sanchez, the best mixed double group in WTT right now. And before they took the court, and it's a very close match tonight, obviously, their coach Jensen said, have no fear, you're the team, you've been the team the entire season. And then Skupski told me earlier, I bring the power, but she's got the soft touch.
Yeah, Dr. Feelgood, nickname given to Maria Jose by Luke Jensen. Everybody on the Empire is going to feel real good if they get 2 more game victories. Pretty good combination here, Sam, for this team. You talked about the great hands, Martinez Sanchez. Skupski certainly has that, and the power. They played last year together in mixed doubles. Worked out pretty well that they played together at the Australian Open this year, made the semifinals in mixed.
Great to be able to take that partnership away from World Team Tennis. Wow, that's huge from Neil. Martinez Sanchez had the chance to bury a forehand volley, didn't, put her partner in a little bit of trouble, and Skupski comes up with what you'll see. This one here should have been put away, but this forehand, incredible angle from Skupski.
Partners picking each other up, 30-love.
It was there to be hit. It was a great point from Lindstedt. Skupski had the opening down the line, could not quite hook the forehand back far enough, so Lindstedt keeps them in this game.
Little delayed reaction there with that computer out call. Sometimes you can get that signal from the line judge when it's that close, but the call did come in.
It's a good second serve from Skupski. Under pressure, pushes that one quickly through the box onto the Spears forehand.
New York as a team's won 83% of its first serve points tonight, just 41% of the second serve, but enough to put the Empire close to a huge match win.
We'd love to buy a first serve here if you're Neil Skupski. Missed the last couple, putting a little bit of pressure on his second. That one, Lindstedt right on top of the return. Skupski not able to serve volley, so expect him to try to hit a big target here, make a first serve.
It is wide. New York gets the hold. The Empire a game away from the overall victory.
Yeah, he'd been playing I formation on his serve, opted to go back to a regular double serving position, took a lot off that serve, hit a big kick serve to make sure he made the first one, only went in at 99 miles an hour, but the first serve in the court in doubles pays big dividends for New York.
Springfield will need a break of serve, but first they need a hold from Robert Lindstedt. Second serve good enough for Lindstedt. Boy, Springfield doesn't win tonight, Sam. You look at some of the numbers, they're going to be kicking themselves. 4 of 4 when they've had a break chance on the night. Just not generating enough of those. They've won more deciding points in games than New York.
Well, it's all going to come down to that 4-1 lead and a sloppy service game from Lopez Perez in men's doubles. That should have been 5-1. A couple of extra games on the board for New York there. We ended up losing 5-3, but 5-3 is a lot better than 5-1 when it's a cumulative scoring. And then the same thing for Gvortsova. She won 5-4, but she had 3 or 4 match points with the deciding point included at 4-2 to win 5-2. So there were certainly games that got away from Springfield this evening.
Lindstedt with a rocket at 128 miles per hour. And it's in. Let's played. That counts. Hold Springfield, but New York will have to get it done on the serve of Maria Jose Martinez Sanchez. And if you were Springfield, this is the player you would love to have the crack to break.
It certainly is. They're going to get an opportunity to get hits and returns. Now they need to be very... Well, they've got to have a great intent and pick their spot on return. Don't worry about Neil at the net. You pick your spot, you hit it, and you try to take the ascendancy in the point. Skupski's going to try and get super involved here to help New York get the win.
Lindstedt failing on the backhand.
Well, he had all the time in the world to redirect that backhand back towards the server and just got a little tentative, caught it a touch late.
Two beautiful beginnings here for the Empire.
Well, complete release on the pressure valve. The Empire, a little bit of tension when you start to try to serve out a match. 2 missed returns from your opponents, that's absolute Christmas. That's a better return from Lindstedt. You know Skupski's moving, but he can't cover 100% of the court. So pick out the single sideline on the side that he's not starting on, and that's your return spot to aim at.
That's out, and match point has arrived here for New York.
Well, this is going to be one of the grittiest wins you will see all season if they can convert here from any team in the league across all 59 matches.
Luke Jansen and the Empire, after a disastrous season for the New York franchise a year ago, struggling to get any match wins. Chance to get win number 7 of the year tonight. And it could be playoff time just around the corner for the New York Empire.
Oh, that is one hell of a match from the New York Empire. And when they needed their #1 team to stand up and get it done at the end, they did.
Neil Skupski with the cracking put away. And the bench erupts. Make it 6 wins in the last 8 games for the Empire as they move closer to the playoffs.
Against last year's champion, Springfield. On behalf of our entire crew, this is Dave Huddle. Thanks so much for coming out tonight. Stick around for post-match autographs for kids 16 and under. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6:30, where your Empire will host the Philadelphia Freedom. Good night. And because of the victory tonight by the Empire, we're now in a 3-way tie for second place. Give it up for the New York Empire! What a result tonight. Top 4 teams will go to the WTT Finals weekend in Vegas. Keep it rolling, Empire.
World Team Tennis on World World Team Tennis on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Rocket, game-changing phones with glasses-free 3D. And by Forevermark, a diamond is forever.
Great showdown of the Big Apple tonight. The New York Empire able to get it done 22-19 over the defending World Team Tennis champs from Springfield. Olivia standing by with the Empire head coach.
Thank you, Jason. I'm with a very happy Luke Jensen. Tonight was just huge, and what a dramatic way to get that 7th win. What was the vibe coming into tonight?
Against the defending champions. I mean, these guys have been steamrolling us. They steamrolled at us in Springfield. We had some new pieces, and you think about it. This doesn't happen if women's singles doesn't gut out match points down. She lost in the end, but those games were huge. Men's singles got out to a slow start, but you just squeeze out games. And this whole thing is about pressure. We have veterans on this team that are willing to go into the fire and face it.
Coach, thank you, and good luck against Philly the next 2 nights.
Team Tennis, baby. Vegas, Vegas, Vegas.
Olivia, thanks. Luke Jensen has his eyes on a playoff prize. That's getting a playoff ticket to Las Vegas. Philly's already locked in. These two teams hoping to be amongst the 4 that get there this weekend. For Sam Groff, Olivia Decker, and our entire crew, this is Jason Knapp. Our next World Team Tennis telecast tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern, Washington Castles against another of those playoff contenders, the San Diego Aviators. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We now send you to poker after this break. So long from New York.